Hi, my name is Neasa O'Connor, and I'm the International Manager for the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science here at University College Cork. So today I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Denis Ring, who is the Master's Programme Coordinator for the Masters in Biopharmaceutical and Pharmaceutical Engineering. So Denis, thanks a million for joining me today. So
Thank
I'm
you
going to
very
kick
much,
us
Nessa.
off with quite an easy question. Really, it's just
Okay.
a great opportunity for students to get to know a little bit more about the programme. So if you can you maybe let me know why you think this program is unique?
Well, I suppose it's unique from a number of perspectives. So number one, it's an option through the postgraduate diploma, which precedes the master's program. So basically people from a scientific background can get in with an engineering qualification. So the postgraduate diploma is all of the thought modules. Those people who come straight into the master's, they already have an engineering degree, but they may have an engineering degree that's not in the process or chemical area and might want to know more about that. Plus the fact is very specifically scheduled at present for students who are working. And so hence we have kind of blocked our tutorials on a Friday and a Saturday. And so the students can easily manage to keep working and to study at the same time.
Okay, brilliant. And obviously, I suppose for a lot of students interested in this program, they might be already aware that there's a huge amount of industry in this area in Cork and Ireland. But just for those international students perhaps listening, can you give an idea of the industries that students and graduates are working in and the type of job titles or what kind of graduates are entering into?
Okay. Well, of course, Ireland is really a world leader in this whole biopharmaceutical. And we have something like 14 out of the top 15 companies in Ireland. Cork itself is a huge hub for these industries, and all the big names are here. We have Pfizer, Eli Lilly, we have J&J. And, just to give you a perspective, J&J across Ireland employed 5,000 people. So there are huge opportunities for people to come here and to gain work experience. And the types of jobs then are everything from a process engineer working in manufacturing to utilities engineering, maybe preparing water, preparing some of the other utilities, steam, some of the compressed gas services. You can get CQV engineers, and that's commissioning, qualification and validation. Yep. So there's a very, very wide, diverse range of careers that people can move into.
Yeah, and even from my experience, I suppose recruiting engineers into this field, it's so competitive. There's so much opportunities for graduates because they're really crying out for people in this field, even in PepsiCo and the FMCG and manufacturing side of things. It's not just the pharma and biotech.
Absolutely.
There's really so much
Absolutely.
Opportunities, Denis, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And even Ireland is, when we look at baby infant formula,
yeah,
which is very closely kind of related to the pharmaceutical sector, we have a huge number of plants here. So Nestle have a plant in Limerick, Danone have a plant in Cork, and they actually finish that product up in Wexford. They package it up there, and that's Cowan Gate or Aptimal. And again, Pepsi have two plants around Cork, one supplying the North American market, and the other plant supplying a lot of Europe and the Far East. So there is a huge range of opportunities available for people. And I suppose what I would say is key to getting an engineering qualification, and from my experience of dealing with a lot of students who come to do our course, is that people are very interested when they look around and they see engineers in their own workplace. They see one of the things they have, it's not necessarily a better job, but they have they move around the plant quite a lot.
They do, yeah.
So they're not tied to one area. They're not stuck in the lab. They're not stuck in the office. They're kind of doing a little bit of everything, and they're involved in a lot of the kind of capital projects, which are quite exciting because there's an awful lot of big expansions going around the place at the moment as well.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that maybe engineers don't realize is that when maybe people getting into it don't realize is that they could be in that position of working as a process and a validation engineer in a like already existing plant, but obviously new plants are being built and also old plants are being built, and that's where the commissioning and validation comes in and that side of things. So there's so much opportunities within engineering, and with this master's degree, to kind of transverse into these different areas as well, and I think that's something that has to be hugely attractive to graduates.
Absolutely. And, kind of one of the things, if we reflect on it, is kind of, I'm here kind of saying, oh, come on in and do our master's in BioPharma, pharma engineering, and become a kind of an engineer. But you'll become a supercharged engineer because they come with their own background. So they may have an engineering degree already in electrical, mechanical, some of the other civil engineering, but they may have a scientific background. And what they have post the master's is more than what, let's say, somebody coming through a straight undergraduate degree in engineering has. They have their own highly valuable scientific knowledge or other engineering knowledge. And what they're doing is they're coupling that with the pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical knowledge they get from us. And the course is very practical. And we have about half our lecturers are based in industry. So they're
wonderful, yeah.
And they're giving their direct experience of how CQV works, how utilities are operated. And a key selling point, just this year, we've linked up with NIBRT. So one of our modules is going to be delivered through NIBRT, and NIBRT are the National Institute for Biotechnology Research and Training. And so this year it's online training because of just the pandemic, but in future years, we'll be going on site in Dublin with our students for a day's hands-on equipment training, and they have a world-class training facility there. So I think, you know what I mean, it really is quite a broad course, bringing in the National Institute for Biotechnology Research, bringing in industry lecturers, and bringing in a lot of academic experts.
Yeah, and even I suppose that's exactly what you want for, you know, for a degree or a master's degree in engineering is practical experience, because it's a practical career. It's very hands-on. So you need to be kind of considering masters that are going to give you that edge of practical experience. It leads me in nicely actually to my next question. I know we went off off the cuff there a little bit, Dennis, but just really about the research project. There is a 3-month research project. So could you, I know it's kind of quite new, this master's for international students and full-time students, but could you give me some examples of what students might be doing?
Well, I suppose what they do is they touch off all of the kind of the hot topics. So for instance, if we look at the pharmaceutical area, one of the developments that's been happening in the pharmaceutical area recently is that they're very high potency active ingredients. So the chemicals they're making are very potent, they're very effective for treating oncology and a range of illnesses. But that gives challenges to engineers from the manufacturing perspective in terms of containment, in terms of occupational hygiene. So a lot of research projects will look at HP APIs, which is high potency APIs, containment. In the biopharmaceutical, huge drive to reduce the consumption of water. They use massive quantities of water because they're purifying the product so much. So looking at areas of sustainability, looking at areas of energy. And of course, there's the core area of the processes themselves. It might be the automation, it might be the actual chemical engineering, it might be the simulation, or it could even be batch simulation and batch optimization, looking to find out where are the bottlenecks in this plant? How can you actually optimize the production?
And again, you know, everything you're saying is hugely practical again. You know what I mean? These are all real practical problems that are faced every day on any of these manufacturing plants, you know, no matter whether, you know, what product is being made. So that's why it is so transversable, I think. And look, I'll finish up with the last question, which is often what I'm asked a lot is, you know, what do students like the most about this program? I know it's kind of new in its infancy, but what do you think they'll like the most about this program?
Well, I think they what they probably really do appreciate is that the staff, the lecturers, the support is very readily on hand. You know, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I know I'm often replying to emails at 11:30 at night. You know what I mean? If they
you shouldn't be doing that now.
Well, I'm not promoting it. I'm just simply saying that I do that. But the staff are very accessible, very knowledgeable, and the course, and again, it's very practical. And I think probably, you know, at the end of the day, what people really appreciate is the fact that the opportunities are there in abundance for people to move into this area or to progress in this area. A lot of our students are already in the area, but what they want to do is basically supercharge their own career potentials, diversify, give themselves that engineering angle. So really, I think it's the key for us is the fact that we're in a very, very hot area.
Yeah, and you're making graduates extremely attractive to a market that has a lot of skills gaps and needs the graduates as well, and that's a key
yeah.
point. So look, I suppose, thank you so much for your time, Dennis. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Neasa.
Any students listening who are interested in this program, we have a huge amount of information on the website. Our contact details are there. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. We're happy to help whatever way we can. Okay, thank you very much, Dennis.
Thank you, Neasa. Take care.